Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker. Thank you so much for joining us. However you may be joining us, I promise you this show will be able to give you some options to let you know where you are here in the new year, how you're doing, and maybe how to do it a little bit better. As we welcome back into the program, Lisa Schilling, licensed clinical social worker as well, with South Central Louisiana Human Services Authority.
Look at you saying that all fast. Go ahead.
Well, you know, I'm fortunate enough to get to work with you and your team, and so I get a chance to be able to say that. But, you know, really diving into the new year, people are really hoping and expecting to have a good new year here in 2022.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so much hope around that. And even though we're getting off to a little shaky start, I still think there's a lot of things that we can do to really try to help ourselves prepare for that and get in a real positive mindset. And so it is talking about resolutions.
Right.
And maybe, you know, some changes that we can make. And if we can go for that first slide, then we'll dive right into that. Yeah.
Awesome.
So let's talk a little bit about the definition of a New Year's resolution. So it's a promise to yourself or decision to do something, especially to improve one's behavior or lifestyle in some way during the year ahead. And don't we all need that after the last couple of years?
We really do. And we get to define it our way, which is a really good thing.
I think so too, yeah. And so I love that little saying beside that. A new year, it's renewed hope, new opportunities, new adventures, new ways to give and love. And so hopefully this will be our best year yet.
Right.
Even though we're starting off a little shaky, we got a long way to go.
We do. Yeah. We get to be able to give and love. I like that perspective because it talks about giving and taking.
Exactly. Yeah. So if we can go to the next slide, let's talk about, though, something I really want to be able to put out there. And we as social workers and counselors in the behavioral health field, we want people to realize, though, you hear all these people that are making these really strong resolutions, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It can also harm our mental health if we're not really careful about how we set up our goals. We don't want to set up for failure.
Right.
We want to be realistic. And so knowing that they can be dangerous to our mental health and that more than 90% of us will fail at achieving our goals and our mental health will suffer as a result, and that we get discouraged again about the inability to live a healthier lifestyle or improve our relationships. And I think that's most important about probably the first goal that we're going to talk about. But, you know, we do set these lofty goals sometimes, and they really are hard to reach. So I want people to be realistic about that and, you know, make sure that you do some small things so you have those small gains and wins.
Right. So you don't set yourself up to fail.
Right.
Because ultimately it can really impact your mental health.
Most definitely. So let's look at that next slide too, resolutions. I found this information really interesting. So many people make them, but few actually stay committed. Hello, I can raise my hand there. 60% of people make New Year's resolutions. 25% of people are committed after 30 days. Big right there. 8% actually accomplish them. 1% resolution is, the number one resolution is losing weight. Number 5 resolution is eating healthier. They all kind of blend right there. I have to admit that this is on my list of goals as well. Not really doing right now. I'm stress eating during this Omicron variant increase, but I'm still trying to eat healthier. So it is about, you know, look, I'm making a little bit of a win, you know, so I'm trying to make better choices and things like that during the day.
Right. And you know, for me, it's very simple. If I just eat like my wife eats, then I eat much more healthy. So I've got a great role model near me. And so if we find that role model that you can kind of partner with, and that's something we'll talk about in a little bit, but establishing those relationships and partnering, it makes it a little bit easier.
I feel like that's a really big thing to remember. If you have that person that can be, maybe it's not your spouse, maybe it's a friend, you know, it's another family member that you can always have that go-to with, and you all kind of work together, it makes it a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's look at the next slide too. So focus on your health. One of the biggest lessons to come out of 2022 is the importance of staying healthy. We have to be healthy to be able to combat everything that's going on with the Omicron variant right now and with COVID in general. If you're choosing this as your goal, you'll need to determine what success looks like. It's really big.
Yeah. Defining it.
Yeah, what does it look like for you? It's going to be different for me, you know, than you. So do you need to quit smoking or drinking? How much weight do you want to lose? How often are you going to exercise? So that exercise thing is something I really need to get more serious about, but it's on my list.
All right.
Be specific and maybe keep a record of your progress, because becoming, you know, the milestones are important. And then whatever your ambition, make 22 2022 the year that you take control of your health. This is really important, I think, for everything that's going on in the world right now.
Right.
That we just try to be healthier, stay focused.
Okay.
Healthy eating habits. The next slide there. Drink more water.
Okay.
You people hear it, and he's doing it right now. Drink less alcohol. Kind of hard for people in South Louisiana. Save it for weekend activities. Share half your food with your friends or family. So that means you don't always have to clear your plate, even though that's probably how most of us were brought up.
Right.
But, you can share or just not eat it all. Take it home.
That's right.
Meal prepping helps you eat better and save money. So this is important. I know a lot of people do that.
Right.
Be mindful about what you are eating and save food and enjoy the experience. So that's really important too.
Yeah, and especially when we have this option to make sure that, what you're tasting your food,
Yes.
savor that,
Yeah.
enjoy it. Because not everybody can do that.
No. But I do really want to focus on this next slide because we're focusing more on adults when we're making resolutions. But when we're talking about healthy eating and healthy habits, let's not forget our children.
Okay.
So teach your children the importance of food, nutrition. They learn from observing us and how we fuel our bodies. So making family meal times a priority by involving children in nutrition is an important health habit that improves nutrition thinking and improves their healthy weights. Serving regular balanced meals and snacks. So let the children get involved when you're going into the grocery store and picking out fruits and vegetables and snacks. Remove distractions from meals, TVs, phones, tablet games, and allow your children to use their internal signals for deciding when they're full. I think that's really important too. Once again, you don't have to clean that plate. If you're full, we can put that aside and save it for, a snack later.
And as we were wrapping up in that last session, it reminded me of something that, we talk about how children learn what they live.
Yes.
That was something that was really big in our household. But the one thing we don't realize is that whatever the children are seeing, whatever the kids are seeing, that's what they're going to do.
Exactly.
We can't really grow up in a household where the mother and father smoke the whole time and expect that the kids won't start that behavior.
Or that you get upset because they do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So we just need to know. So teaching them those things just really, really important for raising healthy eaters and getting them involved. I love that idea. Let them come to the store with you and do that. And that way you can save some money too because you can teach them about the cost of things. So it's an education moment as we go into finances.
I think so too. So that was our first goal. Number 2 is look after your finances. A lot of people would say, why are you putting this on here? I know that we're in troubled times right now. Who knew that we would still be in a global pandemic? And then we have a hurricane that would hit us that really would change our whole way of life. Mm-hmm. So if you bring up that slide, we can talk about the fact that it really is important when you're going through these type of situations to try to get a handle on your finances. Mm-hmm. It's important to improve your financial security so that when things like this happen, you have something to fall back on. So it's going to require careful planning, such as reviewing household spending, managing debts, increasing cash flow, and building up savings. Some people are probably listening to this right now and say, are you kidding me? I'm trying to just live from day to day. And we have all this going on, and I understand that. Mm-hmm. But at some point, you'll be able to move into this, and you'll find that your life will be a lot easier if you're able to manage your finances better. Yeah, because if we can remove that little bit of stress for what's going to happen down the road, let's not overextend. Let's not spend more than our insurance is going to pay for. Right. Maybe. Exactly. And then the other part of that is you see there at the very last bullet point that, it's going to give you peace of mind, and that it's also going to be vital to your general health and wellness. Because if you worry about it and you start getting stressed over it, then you start messing up your own physical health, which could lead to mental health issues. So we know all of that. Right. They're all connected. Right. So number 3, pursue an aspiration. So this is my favorite one, and you say, Lisa, that's a great picture at the bottom. This is my aspiration. Okay. I want to go on a hot balloon ride. Yeah, wow. I've been wanting to do that for years, and I'm like, maybe this is my year to get in there and go up and just have some fun. I think it would be a blast. I see your face. Holy cow. For somebody who really doesn't like heights very much, even going on some of the rides at Disney where you go in a hot air balloon. So, if you can't do it, you can go to Epcot and experience that. Yeah, but all of us have dreams and we have, grand ambitions. And so if there's one thing that you've thought about over the last couple of years, but hey, you haven't had time to do it, don't want to do it, maybe this is the year. For me, it's going to be the year that I get a hot air balloon.
Lisa will ride in her hot air balloon in 2022.
And then if you're going to stick to this resolution, you're going to need to pick the goal that excites you the most. So let it be something that it's really want to do, that's really going to bring you some happiness and some joy, because we need more of that in our lives right now. And find a way to get in motion and take small steps toward making that happen.
Wow.
So I think that's kind of fun.
Very nice.
The next one is huge. Invest in your relationships. So we spent a lot of time talking about this, I think, in the last 2 years when COVID came along, because we were forced to stay at home. We were forced to be with our family, maybe start really getting, back into the relationships instead of just being, meeting you when we came in the morning and passing each other like ships in the night and taking our kids somewhere. So to appreciate our family and our friends now. I think that's, to keep that going so you don't lose it, because you made those connections, or if you haven't, it's the time to do that, to really dig in and, get close to your family and your friends. I think the most important thing is that second bullet point, though, that the quality of time spent together is what matters the most. So make the most of every minute, be present. If distance is an obstacle, get on that phone. We do Zoom now for everything. So you can't really say that you don't have time to do it.
Right.
And then once again, if you have lost some time with friends and you want to, maybe reconnect, this is time to do that too.
Find a way to get that done.
Yeah. This is the biggie, our next one here for us as professionals. Take care of your mental health. So as we're going through all these again, we're remembering the fact that if we're creating these resolutions, we want them to be something that we can really achieve and have small gains. But you need to make time for yourself too, so you don't have burnout really big.
And it's not selfish to take care of yourself.
It's not. It's important so that you can continue to help others, in our case.
Right.
So, and for some people, it might be easy just like taking on a pet, because pet brings you so much happiness, and they bring you unconditional love, and they help you with your physical and mental capabilities as well. But the most important thing to keep in mind is, if you find yourself struggling with your mental health, do not be afraid to ask for help.
That's got to be the first, I think that's the first step in taking care of ourselves, is being aware of when we do or do not need more help.
I agree with you completely, because it's really hard. Oh my gosh, this next one, geez. Disconnect from your phone. Oh my gosh. So right now this is really difficult with work and everything that's going on, and keeping up with people. We're telling you to reinvest in relationships. Call by phone if you don't want to. You need to find some balance. I need to find balance myself. So, just being able to take a couple hours away from it during the day. Maybe you set a ringer on your phone, or to, let you know an alert, so now you can get back on it. Social media, geez, take a break from it. I've tried to do that now, and it's helping me a lot. And just know that you can become addicted to that phone. It's just like any addiction.
Right. Find a way to disconnect.
Yeah, so make it your mission to reconnect with reality and focus on living more in the moment.
Spending a lot of time talking about New Year's resolutions and the best way to do that. When you talk about disconnecting your phone, it's important. So disconnect from your phone, go plug it in, and once you've plugged it in, put HTV on and be able to watch programs like this that's inspiring, instead of all the news that you can get from somewhere else. So that's really important, but it's also important to be able to stay connected, but finding balance with that's really important.
I think so. That's the big part, just finding the balance.
Yeah.
So we've talked about 6 really great New Year's resolutions. We're going to end with the 7th one.
Okay.
So the biggest one, I think, is, and the hardest one for people, is to get out of your comfort zone. So, we all like to do things that we feel good about and that are okay with us, and we don't have to worry about anything. But this is a brand new year, and we really want to try to make this year the best that we can, despite our circumstances. So just to be able to maybe look at changes, things that you can do that will really push you. Reflect on what we've learned this past year, and then challenge ourselves to step out of that comfort zone. I love this. The beauty of this resolution is that it can be accomplished more than once, and your goals can be literally anything, like take a class in something you know nothing about, volunteering in local nonprofits, getting involved in church activities, or just work towards conquering a fear.
Or going in a hot air balloon.
That's it. Just go to Hubba. It's kind of a fear too, but I'm ready to go for it.
But you have to travel
You
to
have to
do that,
travel to
right?
do that.
You got to go somewhere
Yeah.
else. There's a lot of new things with that, so it's out of your comfort zone.
I love
but
it.
it's your goal at the same
I'll
time.
probably be screaming the whole time, but that's okay.
Yeah.
If you keep trying new things, keep learning, and keep going, you might find that this could be our most fulfilling year yet. So kind of just stay positive and pushing yourself and going that extra step, so to speak.
Yeah.
But,
And-
we talked about 7 goals.
Right?
But I want to talk about 7 really minor things that you can do that can make a difference every day in your life.
Okay.
And they're called 7 ups.
So here are the 7 ups.
Yeah. So the first one is to wake up.
And so the goal here is to begin the day with the Lord. It is His day. Rejoice in it. This is the day that the Lord has made.
Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So I don't want to leave religion out of this and spirituality, because that has been the thing that has really helped so many people get through these past 2 years. It's the thing that helps us focus every day and stay positive, and we really look to Him for, guidance and leadership.
Keeps us grounded as well.
Keeps us grounded. Dress up. I love this one, of course.
Hey, best way to do it is to put on a smile. It improves your looks, and it says something about your attitude.
Love that.
People can see it in your face.
Yeah.
They just can. They can even see it behind a mask.
Oh, definitely. The eyes
See
will
it in
light
your
up.
eyes.
Yes.
Right.
So when people say, I don't know who that is, but you can tell the eyes. So shut up.
Here we go. Watch your tongue. Don't gossip. Say nice things. And most importantly, learn to listen. We can't listen if we're always talking.
If we're always talking. And I feel like, too, that if we keep that in our mind, that shut up, sometimes that thing that it's going to come out of our mouth that we knew we shouldn't say will not be there. So we're doing lots of things with shut up.
I like it.
Stand up.
You need to take a stand for what you believe in. Resist evil and do good. That's simple. Open your mouth for good things, resist the evil, and find a way to do some good. There are lots of opportunities. You mentioned it in the slide before. Getting out of your comfort zone. Go donate your time. Go be present with people who need your help.
I think so too. And the other part of that is resisting evil. I mean, there's so many things that are going on in our world right now, and people are speaking out, they're making comments and things. Sometimes you just need to sit back and let that go, because it's going to take care of itself in some ways.
If we don't buy into it
Right.
or spend a lot of time with it.
Right. Look up.
Open your eyes to the Lord. After all, He is your only Savior.
That's it. So we're going back to that wake up, look up. We still need to look to Him for guidance every day. And sometimes, I know for myself, it's very important that I share with Him what's going on. And look, sometimes I have to say, you're going to have to help me through this one.
Right. That's maybe our first way of asking for help, too.
That's it.
Is getting it from there.
Yes. Reach up.
Spend time in prayer with your adorations, with your confessions, your thanksgivings, and supplications to the Lord.
Once again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all goes back to, our God and what He can do for us if we're willing to let Him.
And knowing how to do that. That's the
Right.
way to do that.
Right. These are all easy things.
Right.
Lift up.
Be available to help those in need, serving and supporting and sharing.
That's huge. And that's so easy.
It's the best way
Sometimes-
to help ourselves, to
Yeah,
help somebody
sometimes we get
else.
so busy and we're in our own world, but really, when you help other people, I know for myself, when I'm able to do small things, I always feel so good. It
Exactly.
takes my mind off all of my other troubles.
It really does. It works.
Yeah. So we're not saying that you're going to be perfect if you do all these. Our next slide is, though, but we think we've given you some things to say. Future, I am ready. I'm going into 2022, even though we have an uptick in our Omicron variant, and I know a lot of people are getting worried, concerned, and, that's affecting businesses and restaurants and all the things that we like to do when we're out and about. We still have to just take all of it into perspective. And we've gotten through this the last 2 years, and this is just a small phase. This will pass too.
It absolutely can. And so for people who need help, let's talk about where they can get it.
Yeah, so right there you see our app. So we have lots of resources for all 7 parishes. You can download that, and you have that information as well at your fingertips. We also have our agency website, sclhsa.org, and then our Facebook page, South Central Louisiana Human Services Authority. And that last slide shows you all of our sites. We are there. We will be there, even though we're having to back down on some of our staffing. We're available. Also, our call line, 1-800-500-9997. We are there to assist you with anything.
Yeah, that 1-877 number, always available, and you can reach out for whatever you need. Lisa, thank you for reaching out, coming to do this with
Yeah.
us. And I feel better about my New Year's resolutions and how to reach them.
Thank
So,
you. We'll try to keep each other on track.
Absolutely. That's the
Okay.
way to do it. Find a person to help you stay on track, and we'll stay on track by finishing this Bayou Time. We thank you for joining us. Don't go anywhere. A lot of local programming as we continue.